Actually, I didn't schedule him, but are you available? Come on up. Come on up. Yeah. So let me check my calendar. Yeah. Yeah. We had someone that's out sick this morning, and so she couldn't be here, Jada. And so yeah, this is good. This is good. This is a good group. So what I want you to do is I want you to start with telling us your name and your age, please, and then pass the mic. All right? Are you kind of nervous? Is everybody kind of nervous? No. No? Pros. Some of them. All right. Tell us your first name and your age.
I'm Michaela, and I'm 15.
Cassius, and I'm 16.
Caden, 18.
Nathan, 16.
Chris, 18.
AJ, and I'm 15.
All right. Do I have who's got? There it is, right there. All right. Hold on to that microphone. Why did I have them introduce themselves and tell you their age? Because some of you might have it in your mind that, oh man, I'm 15. I could never go on a mission trip to Nicaragua. And yet we have some. In fact, how old is Joe? How old is Joe? 14. His mom said, it's 14. That's what happens when you have kids. You go, I don't remember how old my kids are. But 14, so we had somebody even younger on the group, on the trip, and on the team, and who went. And so there's no age limit. Like, oh, I gotta be, this old to go. We've got some young ones. We've got some old men. And so, yeah. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to start by telling us a little bit about the training phase. Before we even take off for the trip, what do we do to prepare for the trip?
Well, basically, for our training phase, we mostly did our script. And our script was like, there was one man, which was Jesus, and there was another man who was Satan. And there was this one girl in the middle that they were fighting over, which was the girl Jesus was trying to get come on her side. And there was 5 other people, which were the temptations of that Satan was sending out to her. And basically, it was like basically it was like a trial and error type of thing. And there was also there was the back wall. We painted that for the mission trip. Like we did that as training because we needed to, not that back wall, but the wall behind that back wall. Basically the office, yeah.
The back wall.
The back wall.
The back wall of the back wall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we had to paint that for our training as well.
Okay. What else? What else do you remember about the training phase?
We did like team building stuff. So we did like one of our things was like we had to like make a tent, like put it up and everything, and then tear it down the fastest as a team. And we did like a scavenger hunt for like team building to like see like how you could like communicate well and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Suarez, anything different that you remember from the training phase?
I remember for the team building that we did like a little game, and we all like nodded each other like in this like big group, and we had to like reach out to someone across from us, and then all our arms just got like knotted, and we had to get out of the knot by basically like not disconnecting our arms but just moving. And that was annoying.
Okay.
But yeah.
And hot, sweaty. Okay. Caden, you remember anything else about the training phase that they didn't mention yet?
Oh, that they didn't mention? That was months ago. But well, just to build off of what they were saying, because I feel like that was most of it. We practiced some building stuff. I think we did drywall as well, and then we practiced painting because that's what we were gonna do. And we also worked in kind of close quarters as well to get used to sweaty and all close together, because the rooms in Nicaragua that we were painting and working in were pretty tight and small. So it was all to get us ready for the mission trip. So.
Okay. Cash, what'd you think about the training phase? You've done it a couple times, but yeah, what'd you think?
I think we did a lot less like construction work than all of the previous ones, but we focused more on like skip practice, and then we did that one like where we had to act out the machinery.
Yes.
That was for Nicaragua, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I think,
the main
wasn't
thing
it? I don't know. It's kind of, yeah, I think so. Okay. Who did the toast? Who did the toaster?
That was Alex and I don't know who else.
Okay. Anybody remember the toaster?
It was
Did you do it? Okay, will you hand her the mic real quick. Yeah. What was so Cassius? Just real quickly to let you know what's going on. Training phase still. We haven't even gotten to the Nicaragua trip. We'll get to that in just a second. But he's describing what I did was I gave him a task and said, okay, I broke them up into teams, and then I said, your team has to be a machine, some kind of mechanical device, and you do it without any words. Your team gets up and you have to act this out, and then we have to try and guess what it is you're doing. But you guys did a toaster, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life because, go ahead, tell us about it.
So it was me, Alex, Caden, right? And Joab, right? And then I think Hannah, yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Okay, so what happened? How did you? What was? Tell us about the toast part.
So, Haley was the raw or was it Hannah? I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's just go with Hannah. But
Okay.
Hannah was the raw toast, and then Alex came up as the cooked toast.
So why was if you don't know Hannah and you don't know Alex, it's not that funny. But here's the funny part: is Hannah is
white. And
Hannah's white.
Alex is black.
So they decided that Hannah was the toast going, the bread going in, and then she goes down, and then Alex pops up, and I'm sitting there watching like it's a toaster, and then I realized then it hit me like, oh my gosh, the toast was toasted, and she came up, and so had to be there. Okay, tell us what was your first, just your initial thought about Nicaragua, like. When you get off the plane, what's the first thing you're thinking? You're going to be seeing some pictures and video of our travel and whole trip. Okay, go ahead. That what?
That is going to be like really hot and stuff and sweaty.
Okay, and why did you think that?
Because I heard stories
Okay.
and because I checked the weather and it was supposed to be like raining and stuff.
Okay. Why don't you pass that on, Cash? You've been there before.
Yeah.
But what was your getting off the plane this time? What was going through your mind?
Just deja vu, pretty much. Especially when we got to the VIP lounge, I was like,
VIP lounge.
the VIP lounge.
You know,
we're just like this.
Yeah, just got it like that. Okay, all right. Caden, you've been there before also, but what was your mindset getting off the plane this time?
I was just ready to go and meet new people and to get ready to work, because that was what I was setting my mind on. The whole practice and training was working, and so that was all I was thinking about when I got off the plane.
Okay, yep. Suarez.
Well, for me, it was a little different than last year because this year, instead of just like plunging straight into the work,
Plunging straight in. Did you see that? Plunging straight into the
Wow,
work.
that's
I know
crazy.
that was good. Go ahead.
yeah, that wasn't planned. Instead of just like going straight into the work as soon as we got there, we had like two off days, like about an off day, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
We left on a Friday night from here. We arrived over there on Saturday afternoon, basically. So it was like midday, and you can't really. You're just like, well, I don't know. We can't really get started on work and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
And then the next day was church, so we went to church, and then we went to the place that it just the lake, and it just felt like really weird because last year, like as soon as we got there, the next day we were just like straight into working, and we didn't get to go like out and see Nicaragua until the end of the week, so it just kind of like threw me off a bit. But yeah.
Tell us real quickly about the church, because you said, obviously we went to church on Sunday. What is the church like? And they're seeing some pictures of it right now, but in your own words.
Yeah, so that's Calvary Chapel, Manawa, and that's where we were at most of the week. That in the school. That's also where we held VBS. That's Sunday right there. That's us playing with the kids. So yeah, that's the church. And then last year we were actually doing a lot of demo in the church on, I think it was the third floor. We were basically coming in and we were tearing down a bunch of walls because what we were like trying to do is we're trying to make the church, that floor available to other missionaries that wanted to stay there, kind of like a quarters for them to stay on their trip. So it was really cool because we demoed like all of it last year, and then we come back this year and we see it and it's totally like redone, refinished. white ceilings, like white tile ceilings, and it's like really nice. So that was really cool to see.
Okay, all right. Chris, what were your first thoughts? Getting off the plane, getting into Nicaragua.
Well, I initially thought it was gonna be like a lot hotter than it was.
Okay.
Like the Sabos were kind of like hyping it up to like it's gonna be a heat wave when you get off, and I got off and I was like, oh, it's kind of normal.
Okay.
But kind of like walking through the airport itself, it was kind of different as well. Like, I don't know, just like having to show people your passports because I've never like flown internationally, and then like the VIP lounge was kind of sick. But I was tired. That was the main thing. I was ready to just like go somewhere and sleep. So it was kind of nice to have that VIP lounge, like to have like the couches to like lay out on.
Yes, and you did, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
tired.
All right, and so tell us why were you so tired at that point? What had gotten you so tired?
Well, I can't sleep on planes or like really anything moving. So like we've been flying forever. Like it was
Felt
like
like it,
it was like the whole night basically. We flew for I don't know 5, 7, 8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours plus like a 6-hour layover in like Miami and stuff. So I'd been awake since like 9 a.m. Friday morning, and when we got there, it was like midday Saturday.
Yeah.
So I was just like beat.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. AJ, what were your thoughts? This was your first trip, going down there. What were your thoughts getting off that plane and getting into Nicaragua?
My thoughts getting off the plane was basically, like, whoa, I'm in a different country. My parents are all the way home. It was kind of scary because I've never been that far from my parents, and it was like a week, basically 10 days, and it was like just mind bending. I don't know, and I also thought we were gonna die on the bus, but.
Why did you think we were going to die on the bus? Describe the bus for him.
So, our bus was pretty rickety. It was nice for some parts, but our bus driver, he's kind of loco. He was basically speeding the whole time. It was kind of scary. And like every 5 minutes, you'd hear like him honking the horn, and it was like, we gonna crash or are we just gonna let him drive us farther? Yeah, it was pretty scary.
Name was Carlos.
Carlos.
And you'd say, hey, Carlos, gracias. And he would say, okay. Every time, okay. And that was his response. So Nicaragua, you're in a foreign country. You mentioned the bus, which, I mean, obviously he did great all week, right? It's crazy, but he did great. Was there ever a time when you were fearful for your safety? Like, were you ever afraid that anybody was going to come and do anything to you?
Oh, definitely. So, I think it was me, Caden, Chris, and Joseph, and we were standing outside the school. And this one I think he was homeless. I don't know. He was like shirtless or something, and he was like really skinny. He was like anorexic, and he's walking by, and he's like screaming at the cars driving by. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like side-eyeing him because I didn't want to like die or something. And like he's walking past, and I was just staring at him the whole time. And then I can't remember if he talked to Caleb or something, but I remember he was talking to someone. And then like he walks away, and then he starts yelling at this car right in front of him. And I was like, dude, that guy was scary. I was like, I hope he doesn't come up to me because like if he came up and touched me, I was gonna like. If he came up and like shoved me or something, I was about to swing. I was scared.
Okay. Chris, were you ever afraid for your safety?
Funnily enough, not Nicaragua, but when we got back to San Diego, there was this dude because we were like waiting at a park because we ended up having to fly back in 2 teams, and so we were waiting at like this little park by like the water or whatever, and this dude who's like, I don't know, again like a homeless dude or something, who's like seems like he's on something, is like he's like it's like a 5-6 lane thing, and he just starts walking across it yelling at cars who are honking at him and stuff, and he comes up and walks right next to us, and it's me, Joab, and Cassius, and he stares at all 3 of us like this, like just looks at us and then moves on, then sees Nathan, and he's like, hey, you got anything I could have? And we're like, nah, sorry dude, like we're all right. And he's like, gosh dang it, starts like swearing us out and stuff, and then of course Angel comes over and gives him the Coke bottle, so then he ends up walking away. But it was like we were ready to like throw hands at this guy, like 'cause he was like staring us down.
Okay. So not in Nicaragua, San Diego.
Good old San Diego.
Yeah, good old San Diego. Okay, Mr. Suarez. This again, it's your second time going, but were you ever concerned for your safety in Nicaragua?
The only part that I could say that I was like anxious about was when Carlos was driving and we were trying to get out from the lake. It was like a super thin dirt road, and on one end was just like a bunch of trees, and on the other end it was like a cliff. And Matt was in the very back of the bus, like sitting there, and Carlos had to back up like toward the cliff. He had to make like a 3-point turn, and he like backed up, and the back of the bus was like hanging off the back of the cliff, and Matt was like freaking out. It was funny. But yeah, I think that was the only part. Like I was in the front of the bus, but I was still a little concerned. I think that was the only part. I think the homeless guy was like, I wasn't really concerned.
Okay.
But that was it.
Okay.
Just the bus.
All right, Caden. So again, second time. But were you ever concerned for your safety on this Nicaragua trip?
Not really. I mean, I trusted Carlos with my life. Like I was sleeping soundly on that bus, but
Yes, he was.
But there is always like a looming like anxiety because there's always patrols of the military. There's like 10 guys on the back of a truck with AKs. They're always everywhere. So you feel like they could be watching you at any point if you say something, if you do something that they might not like. You know, you never know what they could do. So.
Okay, but that never happened.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Cash, again, you've been there a couple times, but any concern for your safety on this trip?
I would say just what Chris said, and then in Miami actually, it was me, Caleb, Joab, and Joseph. We were all working out in the fitness room at like 10:30 p.m. You know, the grind don't stop.
Yeah.
And there's like a group of dudes that walk in, and they were all of a darker shade, you know. They had like
they're all darker shades.
There was
So
one
it's
dude.
Miami. They're tanned.
You
Don't
know?
you mean? Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, one dude had like a full golden grill, like, and I was like, dang. And they start asking us questions like, where you guys from? Like, what you doing out here? Like, why you out here this late? We were just answering them, and then they're like, what sports you play? And then we said like what sports we played, and then they were just kind of like, okay. And then they started like cussing a little bit, and then yeah, we were just kind of like ready to fight, bro. But then they were just like, all right, y'all have a good night, and they just left. So we were
Okay.
like, okay.
Okay, so not in Nicaragua,
Not in Nicaragua.
Miami, San Diego, Miami. Dangerous, man. Michaela, did you ever fear for your safety when you were in Nicaragua?
Not in Nicaragua, but Miami. Because there were like a lot of shady people around that area, so I was kind of like watching them, you know?
Okay.
So.
Yeah, where we so just so you know, here's what happened was, we're leaving Nicaragua on Saturday. Supposed to leave on Saturday morning. We get word that our flight is delayed. So okay, no problem. It's delayed. You know, a little bit late. Get to sleep in a little bit later. You know, and but then we find out that we get to Miami. We find out that our flight canceled. You're stuck in Miami. And we find out that we're going to be in Miami for 2 days, 2 nights. So we had to scramble to get hotel rooms for all of us. It's 22 of us. We got to get some hotel rooms. And so we got some hotel rooms in Miami. And there are parts of Miami that are beautiful. We saw some of them. Went to South Beach, right? But the part that we stayed in, not so much. And so, you know, it was a little bit shady where we were. But you never really felt any concern for your safety in Nicaragua. It wasn't until you got back, right? Okay. Okay. Tell us what was your favorite part about the trip?
Probably like the youth night and like just hanging out with all the kids and stuff.
Okay, and why was that? Why the youth night? Why hanging out with the kids?
Cause I don't know, they're different from like American kids. Like when we were in the pool, they were just like getting drowned and stuff and like hitting each other. But like none of them cried. Like here in America, all those kids would be crying like when they got drowned or whatever. And then one kid got like hit directly in the face with a soccer ball, and then he just like laughed it off. So
they're tough, man. They're tough. Okay, Cash, what was your favorite part of the trip?
I'd say it's a tie between 2 different parts. One was when we did worship with the other group from Pennsylvania down there.
Okay, so tell us about that. What was the other group from Pennsylvania, or I mean, what are you talking about?
So there was another team of missionaries down there, and they were staying at the same place as us, like in a different area, but same place. And then we all had breakfast and dinner, pretty much together. I mean, we were at different tables, but like in the same area. And one day, we were doing our Devo up on the roof because that's where we were doing it towards the end. And then Pastor Chris, I want to say that's how it happened. Pastor Chris was just like, okay, so there's another team here, and they invited us to do worship. So we're gonna go down there for like 30 minutes and just worship with them. And I was kind of weirded out because like that's a weird situation, you know? Like it was completely random. I was just like,
Okay, so tell them why is it kind of a weird situation?
just because we were in like a different country, and me personally, I haven't done anything like that before, like collaborated technically with anybody like that, and it was just like spur of the moment, like no warnings or anything. It was just like 20 minutes to prepare, and then we're getting down there. So yeah.
Okay, and so go ahead. I was asking you what your favorite part of the trip was. So you said that. So we went down for that worship night.
Yeah.
Okay, and so why was that? Why was that one of your favorite things?
Because it was like none of us knew each other. I mean, I didn't know any of their names, but we were all just there like worshiping, you know? Like for me, nothing else mattered. Like nothing else mattered, you know?
Okay. And the people from Pennsylvania, did they end up, were they weird or anything?
Well, I didn't really talk to them or get to know them. I know Noah and I think Chris did, but yeah, so you have to ask them.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll ask them. Okay, and then what else did you mention about what was your favorite?
And then the second one was definitely the youth night.
Okay. And why was that?
Just because we got to hang out with the kids there. I got to have some conversations with them because I didn't speak Spanish. They didn't speak a lot of English, but like just being able to play the games with them and sort of talk to them, get to know them kind of, was awesome.
Okay, so Cassius, if you don't know Cassius, Cash is like, he's just willing to do anything. And I know that. We've been on, how many trips have we been on together now?
4.
Is it 4? Yeah, I was going to say 4. 2 Mexico, 2 Nicaragua. And so we go way back.
Yep.
Yeah, BFFs. Okay? But I know that I can ask Cash to do anything. Hey, go do that. It doesn't matter what it is. In fact, some of these guys, maybe all of these guys, I don't remember exactly who was all in this room, but one day, and I know there's some video footage of it in there, you'll see these guys like scraping the floors. Like, what are they doing? But I said to them, I said, hey, I need 5 guys or whatever the number was. I need 5 guys, 6 guys, whatever. I said, I need some guys. I said, and I need guys who are willing to do the nastiest, dirtiest thing that you've ever done in your life, because that's what they told me. Not these guys, but that's what Pastor Mike told me. Like, we're gonna need some guys that are not afraid to just like get grimy. And so I said, I need some guys that are just willing to do anything nasty, dirty, it's just going to be the dirtiest thing you've ever done. And these guys were raising their hands like, I'll go. And, Cash is one of those guys. And my wife actually had to pull him out of the room because the room was so dusty, and he's breathing all this stuff in. He can't breathe, and he's choking or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I was out vacationing by the pool. Just kidding, I wasn't. But my wife had to pull him out and just like, hey, get some water. You need to breathe, Where I was going with that was that he'll do anything. So when we're at the church and I say, hey, you guys go mingle with the Nicaraguans, with their youth, he's going to go do it. Now, do you speak any Spanish?
Very, very little.
Very little, right? But you did it. Now, some of these guys might be wondering, well, you don't speak Spanish. Most of the people over there don't speak English, although there were some. So what was the communication like? Because some of these guys might be afraid of that. Like, I'd like to go, but I don't speak Spanish. So, yeah. What was that like?
It was just kind of like some basic, like maybe 3 basic phrases that I learned. And then just kind of getting laughed at, because I was trying to speak Spanish and I couldn't. So that was fun. But then it was mostly just like games. Like if you initiate something, they're willing to learn it. Like a few hand clapping games. I taught them one, which is the Sailor Went to Sea, and they taught me one, which was elevator, but it was like a different version. So yeah, that's just how I was communicating.
Okay. Let's pass that on. And what favorite part of the trip?
Anytime I was with the kids there, either at VBS or at the school or at church, those kids, they do not care if you speak Spanish or not. I mean, I can a little bit, but kids are harder to understand than adults. But they don't care. They will jump all over you. They will fling little rubber chickens at your face. They'll do anything, and they're just so sweet, so cute, and they're all obviously going to the church and learning about Jesus too, which is amazing. And especially the older kids too, we have all something we can like share on. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ, so those were my favorite parts.
Awesome. Okay. Suarez, favorite part of the trip?
I do have to agree with Cassius for the worship night with a team from Pennsylvania. It was really cool. I know me personally, when Pastor Chris came and told us, I was a little weirded out by it because I saw them worshiping the previous night and I saw them worshiping like a little differently, and they're like chanting stuff during worship. I was kind of like a little freaked out. I was being a little judgy.
They were chanting stuff like spells or something. What were they chanting?
I hope not spells. I hope not. But it was interesting. I think they were praying, but it was something that I wasn't like used to personally. So when Pastor Chris told us, I was like a little weirded out. I was like a little judgy, which I realized now was like wrong, because when I went down there, I kind of just prayed that the Lord wouldn't He would just take away like any anxiousness or any thoughts that I had toward them that weren't good, and that I would just really just come to worship Him. It ended up being like really, really sweet and really cool, because it really kind of like gave me a glimpse of what heaven will be like, because we have brothers and sisters all over the world that we might not know personally, but under God we're all united and we're all one. It was really cool because we all worship the same God. And another highlight for me was just the kids too. The kids are really cool. I made one friend out there named Jeremy. I was with him in the pool and stuff, hanging out with him, and he reminded me a lot of my little sister Sophia. So I think he was really cool, and it's really cool because he loves to learn about Jesus, and I think that's so important at such a young age. Just already being involved in the church, I think that's really cool.
Okay, all right. Chris, favorite part of the trip? Highlight?
I would say so we went to almost like a camp or like a park thing on Thursday, and so we all we had our bus and the kids had their bus, and we went out. It's kind of like a summer camp type thing, but so whenever there was downtime or we didn't know what we were doing, we were just kind of waiting, hanging out after lunch or something. There was 2 or 3 the little boys who I had kind of played with before, and so they do this thing where they would either jump on my back or my leg, and then I would tickle them, and they would fall to the ground, and I would tickle them on the ground and stuff, and they'd be laughing, crying. And it got to a point to where there was 5 or 6 other kids who joined, so I had this little mob of children trying to take me down the whole for I don't know, probably 30 minutes. And I would chase one away, and then another one would be there, and I have to chase them behind me, and they were just jumping all over me. But it was just fun, because it was I don't know, I don't have to talk to them, you know. It was the barrier wasn't even an option, just because we didn't need to talk. It was just tickling them, and they were just trying to take me down and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you realize the kids, they don't even care. It's it wouldn't matter what language you were speaking. They're just glad to have you there, and glad that you're not, they could jump all over you, and you don't care. You just roll with it. So favorite part of the trip for you, AJ?
Probably just seeing the kids smile and laugh and have fun. There was this one, I think it was when we were painting the outside door. There was this one little girl, and it was right after VBS, and she was walking home with her mom, and she was yelling at us, but not mean, but she was yelling at us to get our attention, to thank us for working on her school, and she was so happy, and she had the biggest smile on her face, and it was the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life. It was heartwarming. It was beautiful.
Okay. Awesome. Now you mentioned the school. What kind of work did we do at the school?
We cleaned out the rooms, and we put 100 tables, I think. There was at least 170 tables or something. There was a lot of tables. Be quiet. and we were taking them out, and we were like lining them up to power wash, and then we were cleaning the rooms, and this guy, he found like a toy gun, and he thought it was really real, and so like he didn't want to touch it, get his fingerprints all over it, because like it could have been like a murder weapon or something. And he talks to Marvin. Yes, he talks to Marvin, and he asks him like, "Hey, is this a real gun?" So he goes over and he starts pointing at it, and Marvin, he picks it up, and I walk into the room. I see him pick up the gun, and he starts whipping it around. So I was terrified. He just starts whipping the gun around, and he's like, "Nah," and he throws it back down. And then so Chris grabs it, and they all start playing around with the gun. I'm like, "Bro, like, point that at me one more time, and I don't know what's gonna happen." So yeah.
Okay. As far as the work that was done at the school, like what all, painting, obviously, whole bunch of cleaning. You mentioned the desks. What did now they've seen some pictures or videos here, but describe for them the front of the school, the outside front of the school.
It was pretty bad. It was kind of rusty on the walls, and there's like rust on the metal of the door, and it was like breaking sort of. So it was like little what's it called, broken pieces of the wall, and there was barbed wire on the top of the wall, and I was thinking like, are they like in a war or something, or I think Caden told me that like the barbed wire was there for a war or something. No?
They keep people out.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
And then so yeah.
So, but it didn't look anything like your school, did it?
No.
Okay.
Our school is pretty gross.
Yeah.
But like their room, they're like it was sad to walk in because like when you walk into the room, like everything was dusty, everything was thrown everywhere, and so we just cleaned up everything, and yeah.
Okay. Did you have a hard time with any of the work throughout the week? Was there anything that you thought, oh my gosh, this is so gross, or this is too hard, or I just don't really want to do this?
No, but I do remember this one time, we were picking up leaves, and they were like, I think it was Nathan and Jazzy, and they were like brooming it up and putting it in the dustbin and throwing it in a bucket. I'm like, why are you guys like you guys are like doing the hard way? So I use my hands, and I pick up the leaves, and I think it was Nathan, and Nathan said, "Ew, bro, that's so gross. Like, you don't know where those leaves have been." And like, I'm like, bro, they've just been sitting here on the ground for like, I don't know, a decade or so. and then there was another part where we were putting the tables in a room, and what was his name again? Marvin. And Marvin just mopped the room, and we all walked in to put the tables in, and it was like the floor was getting all dirty again. So I took off my shoes, and they were all like gross. They're like, "Ew, bro, that's weird. Why do you take off your shoes to mop the room?" I'm like, "I'm just mopping the room, man. What can I do? Like, I don't want to drag my feet in here." So I grabbed the mop and I started mopping with my socks on, and I was like, sure, my socks got wet, but like, at least I can mop the floor.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. You can pass that on to Chris. Chris, the work that we did, what was the most surprising maybe to you? Was there any of it, same thing, was there any of it that was like, oh my gosh, this is really gross, or I don't know if I can do this, or?
The only thing that was like tough is so like you talked about like that one room. So we basically it was like Tuesday we had to get the tile out of this room, and like granted there's no ventilation in this room, no nothing. And so we come back Wednesday and there's stucco underneath tiles. That's how you like lay tiles down and stuff. So we had to get this stucco off the floor. But like I said, there's no ventilation and there's asbestos like coming from the ceilings and stuff. Like there's just like one door. And so we have to get all this stucco off, but it like doesn't want to come off. So we had like, I don't know, 6 different tools. We had like this like massive like bar to get it off. I was using a crowbar, just like smacking the ground. Cassius and a few other people had like chisels and stuff. But this room, like, if you walked out of the room, a like cloud of like concrete dust followed you. Mm-hmm. So like it was just like, I think we probably all have cancer now. Like we'll eventually get cancer from it, but like it was just like, it was crazy like how much dust there was actually like in the room. Like we started like fanning it out and people were outside the room and it was just like poof, poof, like clouds just coming out of the room. But it was crazy. Like you walk outside and it was like the freshest air you've ever had in your life. Like it was crazy. But like Yeah, that was like the only thing that was like just like tough. Like, and it was hot in that room. Like, this shirt was black.
Yeah.
Like, that's how, like, it was bad, but it was, I mean, we had to get it done.
Yeah, and you guys did it. Suarez, what about that work, man? Was there anything throughout the week that surprised you, or super gross or whatever?
Okay, in my defense, the leaves were black. Okay, and I was just doing what I was instructed to. Okay, he just wants to show off. I'm just kidding. And the floor was not mopped yet. Also, and we weren't mopping. We were just putting tables in there. And Marvin was gonna mop
Basically,
it after.
everything AJ said was a lie.
Basically, it was kind of twisted. I'm not calling him a liar.
Yeah.
But
Just the events, the timelines, a little bit, whatever. Sounds good.
It's
But anyhow,
fine.
what about
Big
for
deal.
you? Challenging.
I was in the same time's a concept. I was in the same room as Chris and Caden and Joab and Jazzy and Cassius. I think that's everyone. I only showed up like towards the end because I was helping with VBS that day. But yeah, that room was dirty. Like it's true. Like you'd walk in and it'd be like cloudy in there because of all the dust and all the concrete all over the floor. Like I said, I was only in there for a little bit and I was dying. I walk in and I see everyone like drenched, like as if they just got out of like the pool or shower. And I was just like, what the heck is going on? And I was only in there for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes while we finished it. And I walk out and I'm drenched. And it was just so weird. It was like, yeah, like you walk out and literally like a cloud of dust follows you. I felt like Pigpen. Like it's crazy. But yeah, that was it.
Okay. Same question for you, Caden.
Well, so we had to repaint their water tower at the school. They had like a big black water tower. But I'm terrified of heights, but I'm also one of the tallest guys there. And so me and Joab, we had to climb to the tippy top of it. And the ladders that they had were like 5 feet shorter than the water tower. So we had to jump up to it. And, oh man, I was having a tough time getting up there. But once I was up there, it was fine. And there was like no room to walk because the tank fills up basically the whole platform. But so we scraped off the old paint. We put some weird cancer-giving chemicals on the tower, and then with our bare hands, and then we painted it. But it was metal paint too, so it stuck to me, and I still have a tiny little speck right there after taking 20 showers and scrubbing it, but it hasn't come off. Yeah. So, but that was
Okay. Cash, how about the work, man? What was there any of it that was just challenging, or you thought, man, this is I don't really want to do this?
Just the room. Like
Yeah.
after that, there's a bunch of like the concrete dust that got in the back of my throat, and I sounded like a 40-year smoking addict. After that, for like a solid hour or two. So yeah, that was tough. But other than that, everything was it was work, but like it wasn't insanely challenging work.
Okay. Michaela, how about the work? Was there any of it that you just thought was so gross?
I'd say like all the dust, cause like it was like getting in my lungs, and like I still have a cough, but yeah, I was like coughing all over the place, and yeah, probably just the dust, I think,
Okay.
and like the spiders, cause like I'm terrified of spiders. So.
Okay. Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Michaela and Cash and their sister Jada, they just don't stop working, and Jada and Michaela and I, but really it was them two. We were in this back apartment room that they wanted us to clean out, and we needed to clear it all out, sweep it all out, and then they wanted it all mopped, and so we realized right away as we're kind of mopping the floor, there's some spots where the dirt's just there and it's not coming out, and next thing I know is I'm kind of back and forth and bringing water and buckets or whatever. Michaela's just on her hands and knees in the water, just scrubbing, and just I was amazed, watching her work, and she wasn't scared to get wet or dirty. And then I didn't see it, but there was another time where we were in the church, and again, my wife, she's having to pull the whites back, man, and she had to get Michaela because Michaela was in the bathroom. They had her cleaning the bathrooms. And evidently Michaela was in there just scrubbing the bathroom floor, and just like, she's ready to just use her own toothbrush or something and scrub the floor. And my wife finally had to say, hey, it's time to, like, come on, you got to go. It's not going to get any cleaner. And so they just keep working and working and working. And so it's good. It was awesome. What was the most challenging or challenging part of the trip, or maybe your low point on the trip? What was the hardest part of it for you? Just in general, any of it.
I'd say my low part was like breaking out, cause like it was like really itchy and stuff, and I like broke out all over. So.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. I feel like there weren't a lot of low points for me. But yeah, the main one would just be the room.
Okay. All right. Katie?
Well, my low point was when we got stranded in Miami. I mean, imagine that, getting stranded in Miami of all places, but we had to stay there for an extra 2 days, and I didn't want to go home. I actually wanted the trip to be longer, but I didn't want to be in Miami.
And why is that?
It was just so hot there, and we had to walk everywhere. We didn't have a car. We had to go to the beach. And then, but yeah, I was really tired, and I was like, well, if we're already back in the States, I just want to be home right now. So, and then we had to lay over in Dallas, and while we were in Dallas, we split into 2 groups. One group, which was the majority of us, is like 13 of us. They just went straight to San Diego off that plane to Dallas, and then there was 9 of us left. That it was just like 3 hours later, and then we got back to San Diego like 14 hours after that. So we had to stay there for an extra 8 hours because there was a scratch on the plane.
Okay, so explain to them what. Yeah, because they're probably going to think like scratch on the plane. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What happened in Dallas?
The last group, we all boarded the plane. We got on nice and cozy, and sitting on that tarmac. And then the pilot's like, "Hey guys, just so you know, there's a little dent, there's a little scratch on the door of the plane, so we're gonna get a mechanic over here to check it out." And then they got the mechanic, and then they're like, "Okay guys, we're just gonna get a second mechanic over here, just to make sure." And then like an hour passes. "Okay guys, there's a third mechanic, and we're gonna take you guys off the plane real quick, just to do that." And we got off the plane. We were sitting there for like 4 hours, and then we saw our luggage getting taken off the plane. And then they were like, "Okay guys, we're gonna get you a new plane, and it's all gonna be good." And then like a couple hours later, they're like, "Okay guys, Kansas City needs a new plane too, and so there's only one extra one, so it's gonna be like a 50-50. If any of you guys are good at gambling, then count your bets." And we waited, and then Kansas City got that extra plane, and then so they're like, "You know what, guys? We'll just push you back on the plane." And so as we were getting back onto our plane that they just kicked us off for being too dangerous, I saw just a little like patch of duct tape over the scratch on the door, and we got back on, and the plane blew up. No, it was good, but it felt like 8 hours for nothing.
Okay, yeah.
So that was my little.
Yeah, and not gonna lie, we were getting back on the plane, and we're getting ready to take off now. It's the second time that we're on the same plane, and it was going through my mind, like, what if that door just blows open when we're mid-air, And so that did run through my mind several times. I was fighting for my life. Challenging part, low point. What was the hardest part about the week for you?
I would say just like fatigue, just tiredness. It was like the same issue last year. I got a lot of sleep on the planes, but I still felt like really tired, and it was just kind of the first night there, or the first day there. I was in the pool, and I had like a bad calf cramp. I had to be like carried everywhere. I never cramped, so it was weird. And I just had to like load up on ibuprofen and stuff, and I had to like stretch it and electrolytes. Yeah, arm candy. But it was just like it was kind of a spiritual challenge for me because Joe did his Devo, and then I was next in line to do my Devo. And my Devo was on running with endurance and drawing closer to the Lord when things get tough in life, and not feeling like trials are just there because he hates you. But it's actually like a growing experience. And I feel like for me that was kind of a spiritual battle, because my Devo was coming up, and I was just like in a lot of pain, and I was just kind of like just trying to think like, okay, why is this happening? Like, am I even going to be able to like continue it the rest of the week? It was really just hard, but thank God I got through it. He got me through. Ultimately, it wasn't me who did it. It was him who ultimately just helped get me through it. So I feel like that was the low point for me.
Chris, low point for you, hard part, challenging part?
Other than waking up at like 6 a.m., the day we left Nicaragua, I got like an ear infection, and so like my ear was like killing me the whole time, and then that plus flying, like the pressure, like just made my ear like, I don't know, just like burning the whole time.
Okay.
But I mean, other than the ear infection and the waking up early, it was fun. Great
Okay.
time.
All right. AJ.
Probably when we got in Miami. I think it was either like the day after my Devo. I think it was the last time we were there, or it was right after my Devo. I just wasn't feeling it, and I was like losing it, and I went up to Caden and I asked him to pray with me, and so we sat outside the room, and I was just telling him that like, dude, I'm not feeling it. I'm not in the mood or anything to do anything.
Okay.
And so he prayed for me, and I'm pretty sure Caden was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy cries a lot." So I was bawling out on his shirt. I think it was that shirt too.
He hasn't washed it.
Literal sweats and tears into that shirt.
Yeah.
And I was crying, and Caden was like, I think Caden started crying with me.
Okay.
And
What a guy. What a guy.
and yeah, that was probably my low point.
Okay. Let's finish up with this because we got to get these guys going. Just briefly tell us why should these guys think about going on a trip like this in the future?
You guys should go because it's really fun. You get to hang out with a bunch of friends, but you also get to meet a bunch of new people, and it's not only a blessing for the people over in a different country, but it's a blessing unto us because it's refreshing to see how God is working in their lives and how God's working in ours.
All right. Chris?
I would say the main thing is just like how eye-opening it is. Like it kind of like just like seeing how other people live like on the daily, or just like seeing people on like the side of the road, and that's just like how they live. It's like it kind of helps you like with complaining, I guess I would say. Like we even had like a Devo on it while we were out there, just like not complaining. And so there's kind of like an inside joke now when someone complains, like we'll pray for you. But I don't know. It's just every time you go to like a different country, let's like Nicaragua or even like a Mexico or something, it's just crazy to see how other people live, and it really helps you appreciate how really blessed we are. Like it's just like even just having water 24/7, like
Yes.
like that's just like something that seems like almost feels like we're entitled to it, but we're not. Like we really don't deserve any of it, and yet the Lord has blessed us with it.
Yeah, big time. Suarez.
There's a lot of reasons I can go over, but I'll try to just touch on a few. I've been on 3 mission trips so far, 2 in Nicaragua and 1 last summer with the church. We went to Mexico. And every single time I've gone, I've been able to, or the Lord has shown me just different things, different perspectives. Like every mission trip, He's taught me something that has helped me grow personally. I think they did a really good job with touching on AJ saying how, you get to go with your friends. I mean, not that that's like the main reason you go, but it grows your bond with people around you. Like I consider all of them my family now, because you see sides of them that aren't that great. Everyone gets moody, grouchy, like they say sassy or whatever. I didn't see too much of it, but it was that was good. I feel like I'm really close to them now. Another reason is like if the Lord's calling you to go, like you feel it pressing on your heart, I say pray about it. Definitely be prayed up about it, because my freshman year, I'm a junior now. My freshman year, I felt like the Lord was kind of placing on my heart to go on a mission trip to Mexico with them, and I didn't go because I had baseball, and I felt like really convicted about it after because I felt like my priorities weren't straight, and that the Lord really wanted me to go. So I prayed about it, and then the next year I didn't go to Mexico again because of baseball, but then Nicaragua popped up, and I felt like the Lord was really placing it on my heart to go. So here I am now. I prayed about it, left it all in His hands, because if He wants you to go, money isn't going to be an issue. Travel's not going to be an issue. He's going to take care of all of it. He's not only going to open the door, but He's going to blow it off the hinges.
Yes.
So I feel like, or I know that, like if you're praying about it and you feel like He's placing it on your heart, go for it. Pray about it. Don't push it to the side. That'll only make it worse. But yeah, I feel like if he's calling you to do it, like, do it. We're only in high school for so long, so take advantage of it.
Okay. Good.
It's an amazing way to get to serve the Lord. Like when you're here, you feel stuck. Like, oh man, I can't serve the Lord here. It's just my home. Like the Lord doesn't need my help here. There's plenty of volunteers at the church. There's it's nothing bad's happening here, but that's not true. But when you go to another country, you kind of realize that everywhere needs the Lord. Like you're not taking the Lord with you when you're going to Nicaragua or to Mexico or anywhere. He's taking you, and so I feel like if He's putting it on your heart to go, there really is no excuse not to go. Even if you don't know anybody on the teams, like they were saying, a good way to go is because you know your friends. But my first few mission trips, I didn't know anybody on the team, and most of the people on this one, I'm only friends with because of the mission trip. Like you build those bonds, even though none of your friends are going in. Don't let that be something that holds you back. I don't know anybody. But they will become your family, not just your friends. So.
That's awesome. Okay. Kesh?
I'd say just like having the faith to go out to a different country, one that for the most part, biggest chances that you have never been there before. Like a completely new experience for most people. Just getting stretched, because that's what happened to us. We got stretched a lot of times out there, and it helps you to see how big God really is and how faithful He is to us. Everything He gives us, provides us with that we do not deserve, and just knowing that we get to go out there for a week and do some work that it doesn't feel like it's worth it really, how much I got blessed in return for the amount of work I did. I feel like I sort of gained more than I gave, but that's what happens when you go with an attitude to serve the Lord, is you get blessed more than you bless others, right? Because the goal is to go out there and bless others, but God surprises us, I guess, and He blesses us, and like most of them said, you get to strengthen bonds with people, meet people. These people up here, they're my family. Like I can strongly say, they're my family. And you see sides of people, like Nathan said. Some people have a few more moody times than others. It happens. But being able to see that and then still love them through that, just like makes you even closer. And I'd say if God's calling you to go, go. Like don't worry about anything. If it's God's will, He'll make a way.
All right. Mac, finish this up. Why should someone go on a trip like this?
It really teaches you to be thankful, and you really grow in ways you never knew, and I don't know, just to step out your comfort zone for God. And I'd say how they were saying you shouldn't let because you have no friends on this trip hold you back or whatever, because you shouldn't be going for the friends. If you're going for the friends, you're going to be disappointed, because a lot of these people, they're great, but you see a different side. No, you guys are great, but you see different sides. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're not what you expect them to be. These people are my family, of course, but yeah, I'm just but and if you feel God calling you,
Gotta
just
go.
go.
Gotta go. Okay. Hey, let's